Now, back to your friends, Don and Gino.
All right, hopefully you're ready for some great information, as we always get from Mr. Jim Reape with Reape Rickett Law Firm out here. We're talking with one of the, I think, the number one family law attorneys in town. In fact, Jim, you guys were voted number one.
Absolutely.
I
yes.
like
we have it from one of these things from the California legislature. So I guess it's in the legislative record that we are the best family law attorneys in Santa Clarita.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see, now if I had to, and Cindy, I hope you're not listening, which I know, and my wife doesn't listen to my show, I would not want her to hire you guys.
You're right. You wouldn't.
I would be in big trouble.
So that's why you're keeping Jim close.
Exactly. Just in case. You always say it when the guy goes, I thought you had a good attorney. Yeah, but not as good as my ex-wife's. Okay, so let's talk about something that's really unique, Jim. I dig on that. You always bring us great content. You have tons of content because you help so many people in so many different areas. So before I go any further, what's the best way to get a hold of you, Jim? Because I know some people, this is somebody I should talk to. And I like Jim, and I feel comfortable with Jim, and I need Jim's help. How could they get a hold of you?
Two very easy ways. One, call the office, 661-288-1000. Pretty easy to remember.
Wow, 288-1000. I wish we had that easy of one.
Or just go online to Divorce Digest or Google me, and you'll find a few thousand pages.
R-E-A-P-E, not R-I-P.
Well, some people would.
No, he's very, very much alive, especially just getting married. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank
very
you.
cool.
Thank you.
Like us, we've all married up. All right, so talking about, we were talking earlier about family formations, the growth of our our real estate market, and eventually they're going to have to continue to build homes. But you've been getting more and more involved in something that I never even thought of that attorneys would need to get involved in. That's family formation. Why don't you enlighten us a little bit more about that, because I think it's becoming more in the forefront of the media these days and our lives.
Well, I mean, we've seen great acceptance of the, gay and lesbian community, which, naturally speaking, biologically, probably precludes them from having.
Can you explain that to us?
I don't think it's probably. I think it's
some genetic offspring. So, fortunately, technology has come into play. In the old days, you never knew what type of combination. You ask a friend for a favor, probably a pretty big favor.
Yeah. They don't ask us for some reason.
So technology has allowed us now to bring together those people to deal with the issues. And it's not just a gay and lesbian issue. Infertility, unfortunately, visits
the
straight
few friends.
population
Sure.
as well. So the reason that the lawyers are involved is because the number of players that are involved. What the lawyers can do is help to assure that the players will be legally treated in the way that they intended to at the formation of whatever it is that they're doing
on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Particularly like in California now, because we starting this year are able to recognize more than two people as a lawful parent.
That was interesting. You brought that up last time you were on the show, and I wouldn't even have thought about that.
Yeah,
but I guess that would make sense these days.
Yeah, no, it actually has to do with these types of settings where you have a donor who elects to remain involved.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, we were talking about the concept of intended parents. So what that means is basically the law when it comes to paternity and in establishing parenthood is less dependent on genetics and more dependent upon what's intended.
As it should be.
Exactly. From, I appreciate that, our legislatures are well enough aware that the way that they should be looking at this is from the eyes of the child out. Who do I depend on?
Thank goodness.
Who fills those roles?
I agree. We've seen that in the past when that wasn't the case.
Children were usually thought of as chattel or property.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to say. So there's been a major transition through the courts in, I don't know, the last 2 decades probably in this department?
Sure, because, that's basically science and technology. I think our first test tube baby is maybe 30 now.
Oh.
How old are you, Gino?
Oh. Nice job, you two. Dang.
They should have shaken that a little more.
Wow.
No, we love our Gino. That was just too easy. You know me. You set me up. And actually, we'd love you to kind of join in here in the Vault Media Studio by going to donandgino.com, DONANDGINO.com. Click on Listen, Chat Live, and you can enjoy our show today with Don, Gino, and of course Jim Reape here, talking about family formation and how they're helping individuals make sure that they basically perform or get what they plan on. Yeah, I'm not talking about the kid side, but actually on the agreement side.
True.
Going, wait, that's not what I ordered. My dad said that a lot. See, I'll throw myself under the bus.
That's good. Good.
Yeah.
Nice way to try to take it back. It's okay.
Okay.
So the other part, other than the egg and sperm donation and surrogacy, let's not forget the traditional adoption.
Yeah.
Very important. We still have plenty of unwanted children in this country that need loving homes to be able to stay in, rather than exist as a foster child and get bounced around and oftentimes abused. Those are the ones that are going to be a problem in the future.
So you guys get involved with that as well.
Absolutely.
How the adoption process works and what's expected and both
Exactly.
parties and all that.
And it's in most instances it's amazingly easy. The easiest is like a step parent adoption. Like mom remarries after dad passes away. Stepdad takes the child in as their own. It's typically an application, a visit by a social worker, and then you go to court and the judge congratulates you.
Okay.
Pretty easy legal work.
Well, what's funny is that, I have a half-sister, and my dad, who adopted my sister, basically became her parent. Basically
Exactly.
took it over and basically said, I got it from here.
Make it legal.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me, at what point does someone seek your advice? Because I think one of the things that could probably, and you've probably seen this before, is that people come to you once the problem arises and the agreement wasn't set forth in an accurate manner, so then it's very difficult to clean up what's already happened, right?
Correct. Yes, before there's a problem. And so we're talking about at the inception of the thought and the conclusion that the family wants to move forward in this direction. That's when you see the attorney.
So at that point, you're getting a consultation. Even if the players aren't all resolved yet, just get a consultation to know what's involved, how it works, what the process is, because I'm assuming there's probably a lot of unlicensed players that would like to be consultants in this field.
Very much so. And there's lots of areas of pitfalls. So, you're right, Gino. As a consumer, you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. So you can't avoid stepping into a puddle when you don't know it's there.
Well, and that's important. Like you said, you don't know what you don't know. And there's nothing against initial intent, because I know when we started working on our APRG, for example, you're luckily going to be a part of that. When we first formed it, the questions arose when we went to experts and saying, okay, as we form this corporation, what's important? And a couple of things are, you guys all get along now, right? Oh, yeah, we get along great. What if you don't?
And well, you know what? When it comes to business, there's two things that can go wrong. It can go south, or it can be good. Both have problems.
And I'm jumping into a whole other thing, but I was just kind of using an analogy of a couple or donors or either side of the party just expecting, hey, I'm in, you're in. This is all good, right? But there are a lot of other, like you said, pitfalls that they should actually consider or address, correct?
There's a public case now. It's some celebrity, but I don't know. I can't recall the name. Not somebody that I know or follow. So here's what he does. He's with his long-term girlfriend. She decides that she wants to have a baby. He's going to be the donor, despite the fact that he's the boyfriend. They use a clinic. So he donates to the clinic. She's artificially inseminated, has their genetic child. Couple lives together for a number of years, breaks up. Dad is now on the outside because he's not a father. He's not a legally recognized father.
She got it from a clinic, right?
Exactly. So when you go through the clinic route, the intent there is to protect the donor from legal responsibility for the child. But in this case, I guess, well, it was
also
his
acted
intent.
as a parent for some time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that way. So does he have another way to establish paternity through accepting the child into his home, holding it out as his own, what we call like a presumed father status?
This is complicated.
All right, if you want to learn a little bit more, so it isn't so complicated. Make sure you stay tuned here with Don Gatling, Gino Fronti, and the Don and Gino Real Estate Finance Show with Jim Reape of Reape Rickett, Family Law. More interesting information coming up. Don't go away.